Today we want to explore the idea after prayer. I want to look at the story of Paul and ask the question, what do I do first? Paul was a man who was devoted to sharing the gospel, preaching the gospel in various cities around the Roman Empire. As a Jew, he was called to speak to non-Jews. He was arrested in Jerusalem for having supposedly defiled the temple by bringing a non-Jew into the Jewish temple. It was a false accusation, and yet he was taken into captivity by the Romans and held in a prison for more than 2 years because his Jewish opponents accused him of something he didn't do. Later, he appealed to Caesar and was put on a ship to go to Rome. During the long voyage, he was shipwrecked. After several weeks of being in a storm, his boat was battered against an island, and he landed on the island of Malta. Here we find the story that he was taken to the local leader, the chief official named Publius. There was an estate nearby that belonged to Publius, the chief official of the island, and he welcomed us to his home and showed us generous hospitality for 3 days. This is Luke who is writing, recounting the story of himself and Paul on the boat being taken into the household of a local leader whose father, we see in verse 8, was sick in bed, suffering from fever and dysentery. Paul went in to see him and, after prayer, placed his hands on him and healed him. When this happened, the rest of the sick on the island came and were cured. I want to ask you the question today, what do you do first? Whenever you face pain, painful circumstances will either be occasions for cursing or opportunities to call on God. What we see in this story is that Paul saw not only had he been through many difficult circumstances, but the father of his host was laying in bed sick with fever and dysentery, suffering in pain. Paul decided the answer to this difficult situation is not to talk to him, but to talk to God. He prayed. Prayer, in this case, preceded power, and power opened by prayer showed opportunities for purpose. After this man was healed, it says, the rest of the sick people on the entire island were brought to Paul and were cured. We see that Paul was called to preach the gospel, and this difficult circumstance opened a door for his purpose. Power was brought forth through prayer, and instead of complaining, instead of being bitter or angry or frustrated that he was shipwrecked as a prisoner facing a sick man, he decided to pray. What do you do first? Can we say, I took action after prayer? Or do we just decide to do what we want to do and only pray later? As you consider these thoughts, I pray the Lord bless you today and that you would find yourself more and more praying first, seeking God when you're in painful circumstances, and after prayer, finding the power of God, unleashing the purpose of God for your life.